I'll take a venti cold brew with sugar-free cinnamon dolce, please. And can you put some pep in your step and make that immediately, please? Thank you. And don't charge me for it either.
Cheetos and Takis. Cheetos and Takis instead of sloppy toppy. Cheetos and Takis. Cheetos and Takis instead of sloppy toppy. Cheetos and Takis. Cheetos and Takis.
Hey, what's up, my cochinos and cochinas? I'd like to welcome you back to another fucking mukbang. Today, we got something very, very especial for you. We got some Burger King, all right? I haven't had Burger King in a long fucking time. Actually, it hasn't been that long. Actually, it hasn't been that long, huh? It's been like a week or something like that. Well, either way, we got Burger King on deck today, all right? We're doing it a little bit different. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm a little bit discouraged because I love fucking carbs, all right? I don't love fucking carbs. I love fucking carbs. Carbs are delicious, and keto is hard. And I'm not telling you that I'm doing keto, but I figured for this breakfast, I would make it like a low-carb style without the bread, and I already regret it. But either way, we have a nice array of burgers here. We got a bacon, sausage, egg, and cheese. This one is sausage, egg, and cheese. And this one is 2 hamburger patties with cheese, pickles, and like some sauce. So we're going to go ahead and get intimately involved with that in a second. We can call it the American breakfast if you want, because us Americans are always on diets, always trying to lose weight, and doing it in the most interesting way without eating fruits and vegetables, all right? So I want to challenge a couple people to eat a fat-ass low-carb breakfast from Burger King. These people will probably be able to eat a lot more than me, but I challenge you guys to get a bunch of low-carb options from Burger King and go in on it. And the people that I challenge are Big Guy Appetite and Steven Sushi, all right? So you guys go out there, get yourself a fat-ass, like a platter of some Burger King, eggs, cheese, sausage, burgers. The fuck is that? Those the trumpets of heaven? No, it's a fire truck. All right, so anyways, yeah, Steven Sushi, Big Guy Appetite. If you guys see this video, if you guys want to tell them I challenged them, it's cool. Try it out. It's a keto breakfast, American breakfast, lazy American breakfast, standard American breakfast. I don't know. Most standard Americans are going to eat hash browns and the bread and all that shit. So I don't know what you want to call it. I'm just going to call it a low-carb breakfast or something like that, all right? I already knew, too, when I ordered it, I'm like, she's probably expecting me to be fat. You ever do that? You go to the drive-thru and you order something like a certain way, and they're probably like, this person's probably fat. Because most people that are ordering it, diet-wise, you know what I mean, are usually people who yo-yo a diet and never lose any weight, like myself, you know what I mean? I'm always over here trying to alter it a certain way, get it high protein, get it low carb, and then I end up fucking, being the same weight or gaining weight and never really losing weight. So, I always tell myself, just enjoy life, just enjoy the food. But hey, this is for a mukbang, so this is different. So we're going to go ahead and get intimately involved with that. And then also, I'm going to talk about the time where I almost, I don't want to say, how do I say this without getting this video deleted? Well, I was so hungry for carbs one time that I almost... we'll get to it, all right? So stick around to the end and you're gonna know what I'm talking about. But I was really hungry for carbs and I did something I shouldn't have. So the first one I want to get involved with is this double sausage one because it's, semi-basic, I guess. You know what? Fuck a fork. We're gonna go ahead and get nasty with this today. Put our fingers all up in it, all right? So check that out. We got the egg, we got the sausages, we got the cheese, we got people driving by like, why is this fool holding a sandwich up in the air? Is he trying to make it levitate? What's he trying to do? Notice that I said before I even took a full bite. Pretty good. Pretty good. Now, in case you're wondering why I called out Steven Sushi and Big Guy Appetite, there's a couple of reasons. The reason isn't because they have huge channels. I don't care about that part. You guys, if you guys are watching it, you don't even have to put my name in your whatever. I ain't tripping. I called them out because I know that Big Guy Appetite does keto and low carb from time to time, and so does Steven Sushi. Plus they're Mexicanos, Chicanos. I figured if anybody loves carbs, it's Mexicanos. Now I know we all do, you know what I'm saying, but I'm just saying, Mexicans, man, we eat carbs as our main dish, and then we need like 3 different sides of carbs to eat with our carb-loaded main dish. For example, enchiladas. Enchiladas have tortillas already, but then we want tortillas on the side to go with our rice and our beans, and then sometimes we even eat chips and shit and salsa, and then we have like a sweet-ass drink, and then we're wondering why we got diabetes by the time we're 4. I ain't gonna lie, it's decent. Definitely not as good as it would be with the bread. Now you see, it's all about perspective, and I understand that because my lady Joy, she likes to do keto from time to time, and got my coffee on deck as well. Cold brew venti with sugar-free cinnamon dolce. When I ordered it, I was like, I'll take a venti cold brew with sugar-free cinnamon dolce, please. And can you put some pep in your step and make that immediately, please? Thank you. And don't charge me for it either. Anyway, so yeah, I went ahead and put in my order. And I had to get the caffeine in. So anyways, yeah, Joy likes doing keto from time to time, and she told me that it's all about perspective. So when you're doing this kind of diet, you can't look at it as being deprived. You have to look at it as being fulfilled. So if you want to succeed in keto and you want to make it far and you want to, you know, put in some work and lose some pounds this way, if this is the way you want to do it, you can't look at it like being deprived. Like I was watching a video earlier and some girl was saying something about we can't have the bread. I'm like, no, you can have the bread. That's the thing. No one's saying, putting a knife to your throat saying you can't have the fucking bread. You could have the fucking bread. You're just choosing not to have it, right? And it's hard for someone like me because I have like a, I ordered, oh, sorry, I was just reading the text. Y'all thought I got all demonic and shit, huh? All possessed, like. Yeah, so if someone like me, I have a lot of knowledge about nutrition, go figure, right? That's like a fat guy knowing a lot about nutrition. So yeah, because I know that you can lose weight without cutting carbs. You can still eat a shitload of carbs and lose weight. So it's tougher for me. So I look at things in calories. So while I was looking at this, I was like, dude, these things are fucking loaded with calories. I'm over here ordering 3 different options. They're like 300 to 400, maybe even 500 calories each. And I'm taking off the bread. What am I really eliminating by taking off the bread? 150 calories at the most, rather than if I would have got, you know what I mean, like without the cheese, or, you know, there's other ways I could have did it, or instead of doubling it up, I could have had singles. But either way, you know, if you want to do it like this, it's cool, but you have to look at it as being fulfilled. So instead of saying, man, I don't get the bread, be like, man, you know, I get the meat, I get the cheese, I get to get straight to the flavor. That's kind of why I like thin crust pizza sometimes, because, you know, you can taste all the toppings better, and the crust is not in the way. I used to like thick crust when I was younger, but now I like thin only. So, you know what I mean? I feel like that's a pause moment for some reason. Like, I used to like them thick, but now I like them thin. I don't know. I guess I got wore out. So this is the double cheeseburger right here. It has the ketchup, the mustard that I didn't ask for. I told them to make it plain, but it's cool. It got some pickles. So I'm getting some vegetables in, you know what I mean? Oh, man. Nothing like Burger King beef, bro. I used to work at Burger King when I was that 17? Making $4.90 an hour. Is that how old I am? Yeah, those motherfuckers paid me very little. So every time I took out the trash, I would get a container, fill it with a bunch of chicken tenders, and then put it on top of the trash. I know that sounds nasty, right? But I did. And I would roll the bin out to the dumpster, fucking inhale those chicken tenders, and then walk back in. I was like, I'm gonna get my money worth. That was like probably like 10 cents. That probably cost them 10 cents or less. So anyways, back to, yeah, you gotta feel fulfilled with what you're doing. You gotta look at it as what you get to have, not what you don't get to have. So, you know, what you probably wouldn't get to have if you're counting calories. Actually, when you're counting calories, you can eat anything, but you can't overdo it with certain things. With keto, you couldn't overdo it with certain things because you're not really, you should focus on calories, but not immediately. So you can overdo it on fats and proteins and stuff, you know what I mean? Just is what it is. Anyway, so I'm gonna tell you about the story. If you made it this far in the video, let's say I got my vegetables in today. I swallowed a large pickle. Type that out, put that below. Or just say I declined, but I made it that far. Man. See, I like sausage. No, it's fine. I like sausage and shit like that, but beef is where it's at, homie. Now I feel weird going back from the beef to the sausage. I'm gonna set that down for a second. Take a break. So, I went unintentionally keto for a while. I was actually in the UK doing some construction jobs in like 2014, and we was out there for like a few months as usual, and during that time I was working a lot, and by the time I got off work I'd be like really fucking hungry, but my boys would be like, you know, my coworkers, hey, let's go hit the pub or whatever. I'm like, I'm down. But the pub I would go to, they would have like they'd have like a couple good options that I was familiar with, but the rest of the stuff I wasn't really familiar with. The stuff I was familiar with was steak, ribeye steak, chicken wings. The rest of the stuff sounded good, but I just kind of was like, I'm not familiar with this, so I don't really want to take any chances. I ain't taking no shorts or no losses. So what I did was I ordered steak or chicken wings every other day. I just rotated, you know what I mean? And I didn't eat all day, so I would get really satisfied with the fat meat in my mouth, you know what I mean? And so it would satisfy me, you know what I mean? Like a steak is like, fuck, I mean, it depends on what size the steak is. Oh God, this just all sounds horrible, but it depends on what size the steak is. But yeah, it could be anywhere between like 800 to 1,500 calories. Let's say I'm eating a 1,500 calorie steak at the most. I'm burning like a shitload of calories doing construction, and that's all I'm eating. You know what I mean? I might snack throughout the day, you know, eat some like fucking trail mix or some string cheese or some shit. But I was like unintentionally keto, and I already drink diet soda and a lot of water. So I was in ketosis, didn't even really think about it. And so we stood there like an extra week because we wanted to not have to rush back. Like we got the job done, and we didn't want to have to just kick back and be like, I mean, not kick back. We didn't want to have to rush back and not kick back. We wanted to kick back. All right. That's a lot of backs right there. So, and then back shots. So what we did was stood another week. And during that week, the first day I woke up, you know, I knew I didn't have to work, but I woke up fucking hungry as fuck. Like, it wasn't a physical hunger, but it was more like an internal hunger. I can't even explain it to you unless you've been there, but I was so deep into ketosis that I got to a point where I wasn't really satisfied. I know some people say once you get real deep keto that like it takes your appetite away. I think I experienced that while I was working because I was so focused. But when I wasn't working and I had a bunch of free time on my hands, I was so fucking hungry, right? So I ended up having to help do a haul because we were pretty much done, but we were still doing stuff here and there to clean up. So I did like this dump run haul, and then I took this truck to move all the shit. And while I got the truck, rented it, and was on my way to go pick up the, demolition and shit like that, I was driving by an orchard, and I looked over, and I saw a bunch of berries and shit, bro. Grapes, I was just like, I don't know what the fuck, bro. I was just like, damn, that shit looks good. So I fucking turned off into this fucking orchard, bro. Because I didn't see any houses near it. I jumped out. When I jumped out, I saw a house, and I was like, fuck, whatever. At that point, I was just so fucking like, I'm just gonna, like go and fill up this bag. I had a plastic bag with me with some fucking fruit for free. So I'm grabbing a bunch of fucking berries and shit and cutting my hands up because there's thorns in them and shit. But I didn't give a fuck. I was getting blood all on the fucking grapes and berries and shit. But I was going to wash them, you know what I mean? It was my own blood. At this point, you're probably disgusted. But hey, it just is what it is. So my hands are all fucked up and shit. Right? This fucking big-ass dude walks up. And when I say big-ass dude, like he's some big-ass British, English-looking motherfucker, right? Like English bulldog-looking motherfucker. Like not fat either, though. You know what I mean? But anyway, he just looked solid. You know what I mean? He was like 6'4". I'm 6'2". You might not believe me, but I am. I'm 6'2". He was about a couple inches bigger than me height-wise, but I'm sure he was a couple inches smaller than me in other ways. So I was like, fuck, this dude's hella big. He walked up. You could hear the ground shake and shit. He wasn't that big. He was probably like, he was like 6'4", probably like 280 pounds or something. But he was just a solid-looking dude, right? And he's like, hey, man. What the fuck are you doing? He didn't sound British at all. He sounded American, but either way, I was just like, oh, I didn't know how, I'm from America, so I didn't know how it worked. I thought I could just come, and whatever. He's like, no, that's not how it works. You got to get the fuck out of here. And I don't know what came over me. And I just wasn't into the talking or being disrespected, or I was just fucking hungry and wanted to get to the berries. So I took my bloody hand and I just turned, moved back and just went, smacked the fuck out of him, bro. I smacked the fuck out of him, but he didn't really budge and it hurt my elbow a little bit. So I just jumped into the truck and took off right away. He looked kind of stunned. He didn't like fight back or nothing. But it was an interesting situation. He had like a blood mark on his face and shit. So, it was crazy. That's how fucking hungry I was for carbs. So, I didn't get to them right away because, I had to clean them off and shit like that. But I'm just letting you know, that's how fucking hungry I was, for carbs. So I'm sure there's ways to eat keto and be in ketosis and not get all insane and fucking aggressively hungry and shit. But for me, that didn't work. So I don't know. I hope Nate and Steven see this video and, decide to make a mukbang with Burger King food and keep it low carb and make it look a lot better than mine. It doesn't have to be in your car. I know you guys usually do them at home. What I wanted to do today was an English breakfast, but I had a hard time finding it because I was thinking of this story and I was like, man, it'd be perfect with the English breakfast, but I couldn't find it. So I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'll spend like $8 at Burger King and make this video. So one last thing before we go, if you made it this far into the video, I know you like to, stay to the end because you never know what's going to happen. So I get back to the rental place and I'm sitting there waiting to check out. And then, someone pulls up in their truck and then they get out and it's that fool that I smacked the fuck out of, right? I'm like, dude, he must have looked at the side of the truck and seen, where I was taking it back to. There was only one spot where I could have got that rental from in that town. And so he was like, fuck, followed me, I guess. Or, after he was stunned, he was like, I'm going to go, meet this fool. So he gets there and he comes up to me and he's like, you know what? I was like, hey, bro, you better back up. He's like, I just got to let you know something. I'm a vegan and I understand how important carbs are. So here, he pulls out like a bushel or a bucket, I don't know what it would be called, of like a bunch of fucking cherries and shit, bro. And he handed them to me, right? And I just looked at him. I was like, bro, I'm not going to take this from you because I don't know if they're poisoned, right? He was like, they're not poisoned, good sir. And I was like, get out of here or I'm going to pop your cherry.